the ancients. When my mother and grandma fight, it is ancient. They stand in the kitchen, a head of garlic forgotten on the counter, as they face each other with eyes steady and on fire. I stand to the side, protector and protected, I, who am my mother's daughter, watching daughter who is now mother, and grandma who also was and is daughter. The air crackles with electricity that's been building up over months, years, centuries. I feel it in my bones, and the tiny hairs on my arm rise as if at attention, as if they're waiting for something too, as if they will bear witness because it is an honor when nature collides in front of you. When my mother and grandma fight, it starts off slow, a pot of hot water simmering. The air in the room grows heavy, each word pregnant with meaning, with things not said and things that have been said many times before, repeated over and over again, battering and thrashing and flailing to be understood. They are the sky before the downpour, before deluge and cloudburst, and I am here bracing for torrents and flood. My mother draws out her words like ironing, smoothing out wrinkles with searing metal, a slow, tense wind moving through palm tree corridors. My grandma listens to her, eyelids blinking slow and sleepy like a lizard in the sun, but her heartbeat races, body tense and readying for the pickup. There is a pause before storm connects with land, before spark rages fire, then the house overflows with all the hard K's and deep G's of our family's dialect Ilongo, my grandma exclaiming, "Linte ka!" in frustration. Lightning strike you, and I avert my eyes in preparation for the flash, for the forked bolt to split the ground and send us all running. Our staccato language expands, fills the house to bursting as thunder and lightning roll slowly in, the clashes tumbling one over the other, older and more powerful than I could ever hope to be. When my mother and grandma fight, it is a battle between waves. They stand facing each other, spit flying, bodies rigid except for when arms lash out in emphasis, when feet stomp the ground in anger. They storm away only to come barreling back seconds later, their words ocean foam curling around their legs. This fight between mother and daughter, between two separate beings, two strong women who are also one and the same, like the sea turning in on itself. A civil war that is familial, age-old because time is not a straight line in one direction. It is a whirlpool circling in on itself, a snake eating its own tail. It is typhoon rain that evaporates back into the sky once the sun comes out blazing. When my mother and grandma fight, I feel the plate tectonics shifting, earthquake rumbling as the earth groans and moves her foundations because she has been in one position for too long and the tension has built up past the point of pain, and there's pleasure in release, an explosion, and breaking down what she's worked so hard to build because sometimes you have to start from the beginning. The earth adjusts her hips to open wider. She moves her shoulders back so that her heart is more open and vulnerable. She understands that there is strength in emotion, in giving. As these two women's voices rise higher in the house, struggling to be heard, to give form, struggling to understand, and yet working to build boundaries. They fight because it is in their blood, because they are blood, because they have bled, because their anger comes from the land, because their skin aches to be touched, because their words bring each other closer, because silence is passed down from our fathers like a disease, and these women are survivors. These women will give up for nothing. They are extracting the poison one word at a time. My grandpa has died and my father has left, but my mother and grandma fight to stay. They fight because they have to. They fight because if they don't, there's only silence. When my mother and grandma fight, I feel my body pulse with life. My mouth opens to howl, gulping for breath. My hands spasm as if wanting to grasp, to dress myself in this legacy of woman, of heavy and warm and wet, of never giving up. My heart thuds in anticipation. My toes curl against the floor, waiting to push me forward. I am a balete tree, age-old, twisted, curling, gnarled. I am a whale filled with songs that haunt the sea. I am a rock that holds the ocean. When they fight, I remember that I am ancient. I remember that I have survived. I remember that I have always been here.